welcome to 48 Hours from 1982, and thanks for coming back to the channel, and let's take a look at this movie. So now we see these prisoners here digging and cleaning the train track with this corrections officer watching, and see a quick look at the main prisoner of the movie. So this truck is now headed here as it is now. The flute music here sounds awesome. The little bits of music in this movie is pretty nice. So here comes out the prisoner's colleague, Billy Bear, played by Sonny Landham, Predator, which comes out 5 years later, posing as a lost cowboy, and now Albert Gans here. The main prisoner needs to be escaped, with Tonto here, played by James Reamer.
Firewater, Tonto? Is that what you mean? Firewater, huh?
Gets into a rehearsed fight as a corrections officer here starts shooting, as the two now escape, and directed by Walter Hill, who also directed quite a lot of known movies. Gotta love that flute tune here again, like I said. So we now see the protagonist of the movie, Detective Jack Cates, played by Nick Nolte, as he wakes up after hearing the beep on his watch. Yeah, you gotta love the old school technology. Less distractions too. As he wakes up next to his girlfriend Elaine, played by Annette O'Toole, who's pretty visible today in a lot of the 2000s, 2010s kind of movies and TV shows. A lot older though. Next scene we see Billy Bear and Albert Gans again, as we see Albert calling up some special requests for girls they want to since prison deprives of you of that. Deprives you of sex, which you will see much later with the other guy. Back at Elaine's house, pouring whiskey in his coffee, and says bye to Elaine as he now goes to work, lighting up a cigarette. You can see Nick Nolte here rocking the Charles Bronson haircut. Death Wish 2 also came out this year in 1982. So the next scene we see Luther, played by David Patrick Kelly, an associate of Albert Gans and Billy Bear from the past. So Luther is walking out with his girlfriend, now gets pulled inside this car with Gans and Bear, since Luther has the money they stole together, from the past. So Luther agrees that he will get them the money, and the two will keep his girlfriend for him for now, until he gets the money to them. So now Jack meets up with his colleagues himself, one of them being Algren, played by Jonathan Banks. Again, you've seen a lot of known movies and TV shows from the 2000s up until 2020. As the three are here to capture a guy called Polson at this Walden hotel.
How much money you got left?
Meanwhile, Albert Gans is watching a cartoon as we see his naked girl that he requested for him, and is now walking around naked, which I will skip as she asks for money. Back at the hotel, the receptionist is now on the phone as Jack Cates is waiting for something to happen. So Gans is Polson all along. He disguised himself as Polson, and now makes the girl respond to the knock, and Billy Bear is there too, making the girls jump. So Gans shoots Algren's colleague, and now full-blown shootout, as Jack now goes up and checks and sees Algren and the two girls. Now shooting between Jack and the two goons, as Algren is back down after noticing his gun is empty.
Jack, don't you do it! Nice gun.
Now begs Jack to not throw them their gun, and he still does. Idiot. So Billy Bear runs outside with the girl leaving Albert Gans and kills Algren and runs back outside. And Jack checks on Algren. You're a total dumbass, Jack, you know that? For doing that. So back at headquarters, as Jack Cates is too scared to admit that he let Algren and his colleague die instantly, and just handed him his gun as a report, as he needs to file a report on the gun misplacement, since the other cops now know Jack has done this before, lying and not reporting it properly, and now fight. And we also meet Captain Haddon, played by Frank McRae, who's also in Rocky, if you've seen Rocky 2. So now that's done, Jack is now aware that Paulson's real name is Albert Gans, as the detective shows him. Also in Lethal Weapon, this guy. But Jack did catch the girl that was with Gans inside the hotel room. And now this doctor comes out to tell Jack that there is a perfect match with the gun used at the train track and from the previous scene at the motel, including the dead Asian guy we saw at the park earlier with the bullet in his head. They all match, okay? So now we see Kehoe here, played by Brian James, brings a suitcase. Another movie that came out in 1982 was Blade Runner, the original. So a lot of good movies came out in 1982. Death Wish 2, Blade Runner, in this movie. He brings out a suitcase back from Albert Gantz's hotel room. As he says, there was nothing found in Billy Bear's room. He even found that the Asian guy that was killed has been identified from earlier.
Same guy.
Hey, Dick fucking Tracy.
All right, I'm gonna want to talk to one of these guys. Any of them walking around?
And they all work together, hence why Albert Gans and Billy Bear want the money from Luther. So Albert Gans, Billy Bear, Luther, and that dead Asian guy worked as a team to steal that money. Now Captain Haddon calls in Jack Cates and somewhat admits that Algren was killed by his gun and gives him a speech and leaves. Since this movie takes place in San Francisco, I'm guessing Jack is at Alcatraz now, or what looks like Alcatraz prison, and to pick up an inmate, Reggie Hammond, and we instantly meet him, and he's played by Eddie Murphy, singing loudly in this jail cell. Reggie Hammond used to work with Albert Gans, Billy Bear, the Asian guy, and including Luther, the Asian guy, Henry Wong, and even Luther, as Reggie Hammond tells Jack Cates here that he has to get him out of prison first for Jack to get to Albert and Billy. So Cates doesn't agree and just walks out.
Hey! Fuck you!
Okay, but he's actually really there to release Reggie Hammond. Next scene, Jack is here signing some papers so that he can get Reggie Hammond for the next 48 hours. Now you know why the movie's called 48 Hours. And now the security guard's bringing Reggie out in his suit, which he was originally brought into prison with 3 years ago. A $957 suit to be exact. Now forcefully brings Reggie with him since he wants to be partners with Jack and says no. So Reggie now tells Jack that they have to go see Luther first, whom we already have seen, and now driving around San Francisco to Luther's house as Reggie is thinking he will go in to get Luther himself. Tells Jack to maybe leave him a gun.
You're gonna leave me a gun or something, man. I ain't sitting out here without no gun. You just hang on.
So after breaking into Luther's house, Luther comes out and shoots at Jack as he runs. Reggie pushes using the car door and now questions him where Gans is. Now back at the station as Luther is brought in and he is super horny. Reggie, that is, since he hasn't had sex in 3 years. It's so long and follows these arrested prostitutes.
Hello.
This is Jack Cates. Any messages?
Now Jack checks his messages and Elaine picks up, pissed off that her and Jack were supposed to do something right now, but work came in the way.
So where do you want to do it, honey? Want to hop up on the counter?
Nah, we can go in this room over here next to the bathroom.
So close for Reggie to get some. Now Reggie's hungry after getting pushed away from the girls, and here is his dinner. Now down to the parking lot as the two are now looking for Billy Bear. As Jack drives, Reggie asks some questions about Elaine and some personal questions too. Now the two are at a club where Billy Bear used to work at. It's called, I don't know what it's called. And Reggie is desperate to have sex.
Like you, can't get it up there.
I've been in prison for 3 years. My dick gets hot if the wind blows.
Now Jack makes a deal. Reggie tells him everything about the money Gans is after. Then he can have sex. If not, no deal. And he will never have sex. Okay? Now inside the country rodeo club. Everyone's dancing and are wearing cowboy clothes and just looks around as Reggie now goes to get a drink. He even asks about Billy Bear's whereabouts and throws his glass towards the glass sign, the glass logo of the club.
Look at here. The fuck you get this? Tax refund. Bullshit. Too fucking stupid to have a job.
Now everything stops as all the cowboys are here, pissed off and annoyed by Reggie pretending to be a cop as he searches some of them. Now causes more damage to the bar as the bartender is back to answering Reggie's question about where Billy Bear can be found. So Billy Bear can be found at an apartment on top of a jewelry store in Chinatown since he lives with two girls. The way he's describing sounds like that TV show, Three's Company from the 70s, if you've ever heard of it. So back outside as Reggie meets up with Jack again. Jack isn't as stupid as he is, so Reggie hands him the gun and even the switchblade. So now on to Billy Bear's place on top of a jewelry shop, as the two now are up there to check only to see a yoga workout video is being shown on TV.
Police, somebody move!
Stay where you are.
And now breaks in to see that two girls are there, one with a bat and the other with a gun already ready. So the two girls are now asked where Billy Bear is, and the two respond that Billy Bear ran away since he owes the two girls money and for all the sexcapades. That makes sense.
I've been in prison for 3 years. You know, this lady's been getting the short end of the stick. Maybe you'd like to go a couple laps around the track with us.
Fuck off.
Come on.
Say, if you find...
So two guys leaving back on the mission as Jack is annoyed that this is not getting easier since he only has 48 hours, just like the title of the movie, till Reggie goes back to jail. And Jack even starts a fight with Reggie. Now the cops arrive since the fight is happening and are too tired to lift their arms up, or Jack is too tired to lift his arms up and tells the cop to look at his badge from his car. Now the two are somewhere else getting cleaned up as Reggie finally admits why Gans and Billy are on the run. And it's all because of $500,000 in cash stored in Reggie Hammond's car. Simple, I know. But, you know, only Reggie has the keys to the car.
So he's after your money.
You know, you're a real bright cop. You know that, Jack? So how much you... I'll let you in a little secret, Jack. You just passed it.
So the two make it to the building parking lot where we see the two have to now wait for the next morning for the parking lot to Reggie's old apartment to open up at 7 a.m. And Luther is the only other guy that knows where Reggie's car is. So just Luther and Reggie were the only ones that knew where the car was the entire time without Billy and Albert knowing. So it's morning and wakes up Reggie only to see Luther has made it there to get Reggie's car. A minute after, the building opens up. So Reggie's car is now out and ready to be driven out by Luther. Funny how he's been released so quickly. And now they follow Luther and the car does look dusty in some conversations. So Luther takes the money out of the trunk and we even see Reggie's pimp suit, the red one. And now they follow Luther downstairs to the train station. So Luther is there with the money as the two have spotted Jack Hates, but not Reggie, even though he's close by.
You ain't got no class, Jack.
Class isn't something you buy. Look at you.
As a cop there spots Albert Gans with his gun and Billy Bear shoots. Billy Bear shoots the cop and now everyone is running out. As Billy Bear still has Luther's girlfriend as a kidnapped hostage. Look at Billy Bear's face there, so happy. Now at the disco club outside where Reggie's making a phone call first and then goes inside to find some inside this Romans club. It's a black oriented club.
Hey, babe. My name's Reggie Hammond.
Well, so what?
Hey, my name's Reggie Hammond.
I'm with somebody.
How you doing? My name's Reggie Hammond.
Bartender is not interested. So back at work with Jack resting for now and Kehoe walks in too. And now calls for Jack Hates thinking that it's Reggie Hammond calling in. And it's actually Elaine forgetting to meet up with her again. Now Kehoe steps in again, tells that Jack got a missed call earlier about someone from Vice Squad, but it's really Reggie Hammond pretending to be Vice Squad, who called in and hangs up with Elaine too, as Jack races to the disco club, or the black disco club called Romans. And now Reggie finally makes his move on the girl and is super direct of having sex, and Luther is across the street making a phone call at the hotel. So Reggie could have went across the street and could have taken the money first and then do all this. So Jack also apologized for all those slurs he said to Reggie and for some extra apology. He gives him $20 so that Reggie can finally have sex. As Reggie goes inside to the hotel, he sees Luther coming out.
Are you crazy? You can't ask me any better than that.
You come here often home? Yeah, it's my favorite place.
You whispering in my wife's ear? I got rent money for one night.
Now it takes the bus driven by Billy Bear, the Tonto wannabe. And at the back of the bus, we see Gans, and Albert Gans still shoots Luther, and they escape. So back at headquarters, Captain Haddon is pissed off that Gans got away again. So more yelling, the two leave to see Reggie's other car is now there, and now the two get a drink. So at the bar with Jack calling him Kehoe about the bus with Billy and Albert on him, but nothing new happened, or it wasn't ever found. So the two think about going back to the two girls' apartment after finding out that the bus probably stopped near Chinatown, or even in Chinatown, since that is where the girls' apartment is also located at. So they probably went there, and the girls could have lied too.
You lost the stolen box! I got 5 deaths related to Gant! Answer the damn phone, it's for you.
Yeah.
Gil, how's it going?
Chinatown, huh?
So the two have made it back to the apartment area and see one of the girls walking up, and to scare her and stop her. So Billy's actually upstairs. Yeah, she's too in love with him. She would lie for him too. Doesn't matter if he owes her money or not. So Billy is dead, which only leaves Albert Gans, Jack, and Reggie. Looks around, and finally,
Take Game Man and blow his fucking brains out.
Bullshit, he ain't gonna try it.
Are you crazy, man? I was just bluffing.
so we are at the end of the movie as we see Reggie finally having sex, as Reggie finally goes back to prison for the next 6 months, and Jack puts the money back in Reggie's car so that he can have it after those 6 months. Reggie will get him a new car after all this, and now wants his lighter back.
Can I have my lighter back, Reggie?
So that's it, guys. 48 Hours, nice movie from the 80s. Check it out. Pretty sure it's on Disney Plus if you have that. There is a sequel called Another 48 Hours, which I'll probably go over sooner or later. I don't know. Too many movies to make videos on. I prefer quality over quantity. But so stay tuned. The short section for the next set of episodes. See you next time. Take care. See you soon and watch away. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. And that's it for me.